What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Island Hopper TV, and today we are going to go live and talk about food experiences from around the world because people love to eat food. Food is life, right? That's the saying. I mean, one thing that most people do at least 3 times a day is eat. At least. What are some other things that people do 3 times a day? I mean, we can go how far ever down the rabbit hole we want to do, but for the most part, the most common thing that we as people do is eat. And so no matter where you go around the world, whether it be to Asia or to Europe or South America, Mexico, or even all across America, it's such a unique experience to really indulge in certain foods, right? And more than just frozen foods, right? Hot Pockets and pizza, which we get most of the time in McDonald's and stuff here in America. All right, so that's what we're going to kind of talk about. I'm going to share my experiences from Latin America to Asia to Europe and talk about my opinion on that. Now, if you're wondering where I've been making a lot of videos for my new channel called Living in Arizona. If you want to catch up with me over there, for those of you who are thinking about moving to Arizona, that's been where I've been making a lot of content, okay? I also have another channel called JJ Talks, which I haven't really been posting too much over there because it's hot button items like, global affairs, and typically that kind of stuff just gives me a headache because people get so controversial. I try to keep my opinion out of it all, but the internet, the way the internet is, they'll come in with all their opinions. And that stuff can be really frustrating. Travel content's fun though. Okay, so let's dial this in now that we've got people tuning in. What's up, Darlene? What's up, JT in Hawaii? What's up, Freedom Tribe? And James, what's going on? All right, so since a lot of you guys are watching Hawaii, I'll share my Hawaii experience with food. So in Hawaii, you got poke. It's always great to get a fresh tuna right off the boat. The guy will cut it open. Okay, sorry if you're vegan. But they'll cut it right there and he'll give you sashimi right off the tuna. Like, you can eat that fish right off the fillet. Okay, just you'll be out there fishing. Sometimes he'll even have some hot sauce and some what's that green wasabi. So soy sauce and wasabi, and you got sashimi right there, and you're just eating raw fish. That was one thing that I really remember about Hawaii is sashimi, which is basically poke. Okay. But the other things that are really good in Hawaii is that soul food. When you get around soul food where the food is just so finger looking good, like right when you're done with eating it, it might not be the healthiest thing in the world for you, but when you're done eating it, you're like, oh man, I just feel so damn good. That was good. It warms your soul. Hawaii does have that. And I remember that. There's a place in Hamakua, I think it's called, oh man, why can't I remember it? Blaine's? I think it's called Blaine's. I had it on the Big Island, but yeah, you eat at that place. They got some soul food there. And then, you can get Kailua pork and stuff like that. So, okay, Hawaii, you guys know they got some pretty good food there. And it's, you got Asian fusion and stuff like that. Now, if I was to say where my favorite foods are, the places I've been, I really like going down to Mexico City and having some Mexican food from Mexico City. If you ever get a chance to go to Mexico City, go to some of their restaurants, eat the food. They've got such unique food. I remember I had cactus, okay? I've never eaten cactus. Here in Arizona, we got cactus, all right? They got, you're sitting there eating a cactus. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you could eat cactus. But it was like kind of, it was cooked. It was cooked in a certain way, like boiled, not boiled, but steamed cactus. It was good though. I mean, I ate it like a chili relleno, and then I had some carne asada. And it's just, people always say, oh, Arizona's got the best Mexican food, like Mexico. I'm like, no, it does not. You can get real Mexican food down in Mexico, and I'm telling you, it's not like soul food, but it's like, man, that was good. So the Mexico City food scene is, if you're a foodie, go to Mexico City. You'll love it. Also, a place that really stands out to me, probably more so than anywhere. Well, these are places that stand out right now, and they're kind of getting me excited for different reasons. Taipei, Taiwan. In Asia, I know a lot of people are like, oh, go to Japan, this and that. But I'm like, when I like Japan. Japan's got some cool food. I mean, I've done the whole Japanese thing. Like I've spent enough time in Japan to feel like I've, you know, done the Japanese thing where like you sit down at one of those noodle bars. I do it. I travel solo, so you know you want to really test yourself or experience Japanese culture. Go sit down at one of those noodle bars, order some soup, udon soup or whatever, and you got to slurp it. I mean, you'll walk away feeling like, hey, I think I'm like Japanese now. You know, even though I obviously don't look Japanese, but you know, I'm sure I stand out like sore thumb in there. But you know, they're just like, hey, did you enjoy your food? That's what counts the most there. You know, most of these places, they just want you to enjoy the food. If doesn't matter how you look, you know, if you're one of those people who are worried about that kind of stuff. But Taipei, oh my gosh, in Taipei, they've got some of the most unique, awesome foods. Taiwanese food. Like, who knows about Taiwanese food? Why does no one ever talk about Taiwan and Taiwanese food? But Taiwan, Taipei, I'm telling you, it's a foodie's dream come true. Another place that I really enjoyed the food scene was Spain. So this is different than Mexican food. España, we're talking Spain, okay? Barcelona. In Barcelona, they have tapas. I think they have tapas also in Mexico, but not quite like what you get in Spain. Tapas are okay. I mean, they've got a unique variety of tapas, but man, one of the things that was really awesome there that I remember that I'll never forget was just how good the lamb was. Like, I'm not a big fan of lamb, or I wasn't a big fan of lamb, but when I went to Barcelona, I had such good lamb. I was like, that is some damn good lamb. I'm a lamb fan. I'll eat lamb. So, yeah, I'm paying attention to your comments here. Some people are saying they've been to Taipei Airport, but only on the way to Cambodia. Okay, yeah, that's true. And you got me thinking now. Okay, so all right, next, Greek islands. The Greece has some really good food, and it's not a joke. Okay, they have souvlaki and gyros, and another thing in Greece is the lamb is really darn good. So thanks to everyone who's been crushing up the likes, by the way. That's helping get this video out to more people, which builds our audience and makes us more, gets more energy behind this, right? So Greece, if you get a chance, I highly recommend the Greek islands over even the mainland. So I know everyone wants to go to Athens and see Acropolis, but guess what? For the most part, the only thing to do in Athens is go to the Acropolis. Like, there's a couple other things to do around there, but the Acropolis, the city center where the Acropolis is the main thing. But you go to these Greek islands, I mean, it's the jam. I mean, it's the Mediterranean Sea. It's the spot to be. It's actually any Mediterranean island. Even in Spain, you got Ibiza, Mallorca, Formentura, and then obviously out in the Atlantic, you've got Tenerife and all those places. But any of those islands in the Mediterranean, whether it be Spain or Italy's got Sardinia or what's the other one? Capri? Yeah, Capri. And then they've got another one, Corsica. So there's just so many islands, even Sicily. I mean, these are some you're going to get such unique foods in these islands in the Mediterranean. So just the whole Mediterranean, and it's different. You know, Greece has got different food than the Balearic Islands over in Spain, right? So, but overall, man, if you get a chance, go to those islands in the Mediterranean. And I haven't even been to Malta or something like that, but I'm excited. I would be excited to go to Malta. But Greece, man, oh my gosh. If you ever get a chance in your life to go island hopping in Greece, do it. And it's pretty efficient. It's far more efficient than Spanish island hopping, because the Spanish ferry system is nowhere near as good as Greece. I don't know how Greece got so great. It's probably the volume, but they've got high-speed ferries like Asia does. Spain can work on theirs. They're a little bit behind, but they've got some great islands, Ibiza and Mallorca. So you would think that Spain would get it together at some point. Which Greek isle is the Maui of Greek Isles? Ooh. Well, you know, they don't have tropical, right? So it's a lot of it's arid and desert. I mean, the Maui, ooh, I don't know if you could compare it to Maui, because to me, Maui is beautiful because of Hana and the jungle. I mean, but if you're talking about the arid side of like Kihei and Lahaina, I would say Greece is better than Maui's dry side. The beaches aren't quite as amazing, but like Santorini is, you know, like you can't, I couldn't really say that Santorini is like any other Greek island. Santorini has this, it's in a caldera. It's got these views and these like villages that are built on those views, like Ia, and they got Fira. And then they have the black sand beach down on the other side, which is pretty much the only beach on Santorini. It's a black sand beach. It's getting more and more popular. Like they're starting to turn it into like an Ibiza kind of setting, like it's developing. Then they have this red sand beach, which is kind of interesting, I guess. I mean, it's a fetish. People like these like different colored beaches, like red sand or black sand or white sand or pink sand. Me, I'm more into like when can I see what's in the water underneath me. If I can, that's good for me because then I can swim in it. And if it's warm, I don't like cold water. But it's hard to say my favorite, but I would probably go back to Eos. And I didn't even know about Eos Island, IOS, before I went to Greece. I was on Santorini at the Black Sand Beach. I talked to this guy from Australia. He does massages on the beach for people. You know, Europeans, they like this, like they like to put the coconut oil on and tan and wear the Speedo. I don't do that. I'm American. I wear board shorts. But they'll do the whole like, you know, coconut oil in the Speedo. The men will. Women, you know, they go topless. Like, what American beach do you go to where the women are topless unless it's a nude only beach, right? In Europe, it's like Speedos and topless women. But that's cool. You know, that's how it is, right? Who am I to judge? I'm the outsider coming into their country, right? But he was telling me that I was like, what's your favorite Greek island? He's like, Eos. I was like, Eos? I've never even heard of Eos. He's like, oh, you got to check it out. So I go there and I'm like, whoa, this is where every uni student, because uni's college and like, you know, Europe and stuff. So all the uni students who want to go to like Mexican spring break here in America, like everyone trying to go to Panama City, Florida, or Mexico, Cancun for spring break, for Ireland, UK, and Germany, mostly UK and Ireland, they're trying to go to Eos. Eos is like where the kids go. Santorini is where the honeymooners go. Eos is where the uni students go. And because of that, the nightclubs there, it's a small island, but they've got nightclub scene like I've never seen. I mean, we're talking like massive palaces that are nightclubs up on the mountains that have like pools and spas and these views where you're just like, whoa, that's a massive view. That is Eos. And they do have some pretty good food. Eos had some pretty good food. And yeah, we're talking about food, so I got to keep it on that. But let's see here. So the food scene in Greece, great. Another place that had some pretty interesting food that I'll never forget, oddly enough, was like Scandinavia, Estonia. Now, I don't know how to say I liked it. Okay, I'm not saying I liked it, but it's unique. Estonia had like bear on the menu and elk. I like elk. Okay, I'm not against elk. Okay, but speaking of that, the best deer that I ever had was in Hawaii from Molokai. Like if you ever get a chance, if you're a meat eater, okay, if you're a vegan, I apologize if I'm offending you. I'm not trying to offend vegans, okay? But deer from Molokai, if it's cooked right, I mean that was probably the best slab of meat I've ever eaten. All right, so but yeah, bear in Estonia was pretty weird. I didn't eat it, but it was on the menu, and the guy tried to sell it to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, you want some bear?" I'm like, "Where's this bear come from?" I'm like, "Wait, you got bears up here?" And that was kind of on par with what you would get in Finland, in Sweden. They got bear on the menu. The big thing over there that stood out to me was it was cold, so I was always wanting like a warm, really hot coffee. That was pretty much what I liked. As far as breakfast goes, if you're a breakfast kind of person, the best breakfasts I ever have are in Netherlands. Netherlands knows how to do the breakfast. Like I always look forward, like, you know, when you leave someplace, you're like, oh man, I missed that place. Netherlands always seems to have like the best breakfast. Outside of the other foods, they're pretty good. They actually know how to cook and do prep things properly in Netherlands. But I would say the breakfast in Netherlands is pretty damn good. I've had English breakfast in the UK, they just like it's weird because they always have like a tomato, half a tomato, and it's like kind of cooked. That's cool. And beans. That's an English breakfast, but you'll get a lot of that in like Thailand. Now in Asia, okay, now here's a great city for foodies, Singapore. Singapore has it all. They've got Indian food. They've got Chinese food. Just such great variety in Singapore. It's an Asian fusion city. I mean, you can get it all. Even if you need a steak, you want a prime rib, New York strip, you get that there. But as back to Thailand, there's the thing about Thailand is you get some real good food, but every once in a while your stomach will kind of go like, whoop, what's going on right now? Am I going to be okay? And that happens in Thailand. And when that happens, so the food's good in Thailand. Yeah, you get that Thai food for sure. Whatever you like. But sometimes your tummy will get all jacked up and then you can't enjoy any more of that Thai food. So then you got to go on the 7-Eleven or the McDonald's diet, which basically means that you got to eat processed food, because if you start eating the thing about Thailand and any of Vietnam or any of those countries, when you're going to a street vendor who has the best food, because maybe they got the secret sauce, I don't know what the secret sauce is, but you got to watch out for that in Thailand and in some of those other developing countries. Dubai, I like Persian food. I eat it, as you can see, I'm telling you, I eat it all, right? Like Dubai, I eat some like Lebanese food, some Iranian food, which is Persian food. Persian food's really good. It's kind of like a mix between it's closest to Greek. If you like Greek food, you'll like Persian food. Persian food and Lebanese food. It's kind of like Arabic food, I guess you could say. But I remember that about Dubai. Like you get kebabs and you get lamb and you get different variations of kebab in Dubai. But then you get everything else you could possibly want in Dubai. I really like Indian food wherever I go. It seems like whenever I'm looking for a real solid place and I just don't know where to go, I always find like a safe haven with an Indian restaurant. So I always just find myself in Indian restaurants, pretty much in every place, whether it's Spain or Greece. Well, not Greece. I didn't eat any Indian food, but I eat Indian food about once or twice a week. But it fills me up because I always get a beer. Like I always get like a IPA, Indian Pale Ale, right? Or any kind of beer, but they'll have like a IPA in an Indian restaurant, right? And Kingfisher, I think, is what typically is the one that I get. And but you mix that rice and the beer, you're like feeling bloated. You're like, oh man, even if that beer is really good, right? Let's see what some of these questions say. Jeff, smash up the likes for our old buddy Jeff. Thanks, Freedom Tribe. What's the scene? England, Ireland, Scotland. Is it bad food wise? I just remember in Ireland, England, like French fries and steak, like burgers and fries, and also fish and chips, and English breakfast. It seemed like were the things that stood out. I didn't do shepherd's pie or anything, even though I should have, right? I should have tried a shepherd's pie. I do remember Jameson, Scotch, in Ireland in particular. Jameson is it's popping. Have you ever seen those Beijing market angling videos on YouTube? You should try that. Good question, Baby Gold. I haven't tried so I've never been to Beijing, but I've been to Shanghai and I've been into interior China. So China, just like in the United States, you have New York's got its own style, and then Florida's got its own style. You could probably go on record saying that I don't think the Florida food scene is the same as New York food scene. In China, it's the same kind of thing. Southern China has a different kind of cuisine. It's called Cantonese. And then in the north, you've got more Mandarin, okay? So that's why when you go to a Chinese restaurant, you'll see something that'll say Hong Kong noodle. Well, what's the difference between Hong Kong noodle and, say, Shanghai style noodle, chow mein? There is a difference because it comes from a different region, because China's so big, It's like Southern food versus New England food, right? But as far as Beijing markets, I'm not sure exactly what an angling video is, but the food that's in there, I've seen, like, you'll be walking down the street and there'll be duck, decapitated duck, kind of already grilled, and you'll say you want duck, and he'll pull the duck that's already kind of been cooked, and he'll just start cutting the duck right there with this big, knife, and he'll dice it up and then play with it a little bit and put it on your plate. But you'll see the duck sitting right there, a long duck, just defeathered and everything, kind of already cooked. I guess you could call it Mandarin duck. But yeah, I mean, the stuff you see in these markets, some of the craziest markets I've seen were in Italy. Like the fish market in Italy. I've never posted that video. I still got so much walking tours and stuff I could post. Like I've got one from Naples, Naples near Pompeii, where, Naples pizza comes from. Napoli pizza. But that market, man, I've got a video of that. I should post that. Whoa. They pulled some things out of that ocean there that I didn't even know were in there. Weird looking crustacean creatures. Ever got sick from food, gotten food poisoning? Do you trust street food? Okay, Dante, that's a good question. Yeah, in Thailand, I did. It happens in Bali also. They call it the Bali belly. So if you ever go to Bali, they tell you, watch out for the Bali belly. I'm not telling you to oh shoot, I can't go to Bali because I'm going to get the Bali belly. Not everyone gets it, but that's basically the same kind of thing that you get in Thailand, which is I don't know if they use the dirty water, because Thailand, for example, you go in any of the rivers, I mean, you're like, whoa, that river could use some cleaning. Like there's stuff floating in that river. It's like basically not clean. You could tell it's kind of almost stinks. And that's the river, the big river. I mean, I think it's called the Mekong. No, wait, that's in Vietnam. The Mekong River Delta. But they've got other rivers, but the rivers are pretty polluted. And I think a lot of it comes from they'll get a bad storm and the trash won't be outside properly. And the next thing you know, all of the stuff on the street just gets washed right into the river. And then after a couple of years of that happening, where big storms just shove all the trash in there, next thing you know, you just got full on pollution. And then the sewer systems rupture, and then that gets in the river water. And then, and then they'll catch fish out of that river. You get it? And then you eat that at a that's kind of what happens. That's why people go to that 7-Eleven diet, where basically you go to 7-Eleven and just eat hot dogs until your stomach heals. Because once you get sick, you've got to go to the pharmacist, and they've got to give you some cephaloxacin or something. So anyways, yeah, pasties, what's up? Is breakfast strange with blood sausages or black pudding? It's all about scones and clotted cream, fish and chips. Awesome. UK breakfast. Yeah. Blood sausages. Yeah. There's some weird sausage. I didn't really get down with too much of the sausage. Black pudding. I mean, I have chocolate pudding, but that's not black pudding, is it? Scones and clotted cream. So yeah, I mean, all that stuff sounds probably like a UK breakfast. What a UK breakfast is. Obviously, I'm not so up to date on it. Honestly, this is the last you'll see of me, Jacob Ayala. He said haggling, like trying to bid lower on an item, Barney, and whip you skip me. Oh, what did you say? You know about Matalis? Oh, blood sausage. Okay, that's black pudding. All right. Singapore is a foodie gold mine, says Taga Kalatiwi Albe. Yeah, I mean, there's so many places that you have to, if you're going to start traveling the world, you've got to really learn to appreciate the variety of the world's cuisines. I mean, if you're going to be one of those people who's not going to be willing to try anything, you're going to be missing out. It's an adventure. Just like people go, they like to zip line, they like to skydive. Food is the same kind of adventure. Be adventurous with your food. Don't be scared, or even it could be considered disrespectful, because it's like that saying, never rob someone of the gift they're trying to give you. What that means is, if someone's trying to give you a gift, don't rob them of that opportunity to give you that. And food is one of those things that people give, and they like that. If you want to make friends with people, eat their food. People like when you eat their food. It's like, the religion, they say breaking bread. You break bread with somebody, like you want to become friends with somebody, you break bread. Same kind of thing. Oh, Portugal. Good question, Island B. You were asking about Portuguese food. Man, Portugal, I remember the beer. I just liked having beer in Portugal. But I did also have some lamb in Portugal. It was really good. Let's see, what else did I eat in Portugal? Portuguese, for some reason, I don't remember eating. Oh, man. Portugal had some good food. I remember Porto is a heck of a darn good place to explore if you're trying to look for some food. Porto really stands out to me. I would recommend Porto. It's an old city like this. It's almost like a time machine back to the past if you go to Porto, Portugal. I mean, it's a big city, but it's really like a time machine. You feel like almost like you just went back into the past in Porto. Lisbon's kind of modern, but as far as the food scene goes, I'm trying to remember what all I ate over there. I think I found myself doing like world cuisines in Portugal. Like I ate Chinese food there one for lunch. Another dinner I had Indian cuisine. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't really. Oh, I did have some pretty good. I remember they bring out appetizers, olives. So you just snack on like green olives. That was kind of fun. But then, I was drinking a beer. I think the reason I don't remember Portugal is because I was always drinking a beer. So do we avoid food issues in Thailand and Asia? So how do we avoid food issues in Thailand and Asia? Yeah, I would say there's no real guarantee to avoid it. That's like the worst answer I could give. But so I would say stay away from like ice cubes. So ice cubes, even if they say like, oh, that came from sanitized water, just if you're getting drinks, like if you start drinking alcohol and you and there's ice cubes in there, just tell them leave the ice cubes out of it, okay? Because you never know where those ice cubes came from, like how they froze those ice cubes. So ice cubes are one way to stay away from it, because that's the water. It's the water that it's going to look to cause you some problems. And one of the things that they always do is boil everything, like cooking it, because it kills bacteria. That's the whole point of cooking, right? So avoid raw foods. So like if they give you vegetables that weren't cooked in a salad or something, I know you're probably like, well, I need veggies, but if they like give you like a whole bunch of like water sprouts and stuff like that, and some like green leafy stuff, but it hasn't hit hot water, probably avoid it. Or if you are going to have a salad, have it from like a credible establishment. Maybe like for that, you would go to, I don't know, TGI Fridays and have a salad there or something like that. They will have that. That would be some of the things you can do, or, eat at McDonald's, right? If you get sick. But if you get sick, you will have, for lack of a better term, blast ass. And that ain't no joke. That happens to everyone. It's, in case to those of you who don't know what I just said, okay, diarrhea. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, like people who have that, they'll say like it's basically like peeing out of your rear end. Okay, and it's kind of uncontrollable. That's what it is. That's what happens. That's the bally belly. Anyone who's been there, they'll tell you the same thing. So, yeah. To avoid that, you would have to. So you got to go to the store and get to the pharmacist and get this stuff called Cipro, also known as ciprofloxacin, and you got to take that probably for about 3 days. So you'll be bedridden for a good 24 hours with the chills, and then you'll start to feel a little bit better, like 24 to 48 hours later, and then you're still kind of like, is it past or what? So you're 72 hours into it, you're starting to, not have as much diarrhea, but that's kind of the thing. You want to see my dog? Yeah, this is my dog. I got him at the animal shelter. He's he's you know, I adopted him, right? So he's still a puppy though. But yeah, every time he like comes around me, every time I come home, he wants to say hi to me for 15 minutes, literally. Like I'm like, whoa, man, like do the whole minute thing. We'll say hi. And then 15 minutes is too long to say hi. Like I think he's trying to tell me he's got to go to the bathroom. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in here. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. No, he's a Basenji. This is an African hunting dog. This kind of dog, I found this by looking it up on Wikipedia. The Egyptians, this breed here was the breed that the Egyptians had. I picked him out of the shelter because he was there, you know, like I didn't have a specific breed. I was just like, well, if I see a dog I like, and it said on there, his name was Howard. I don't call him Howard anymore. But his breed was Basenji. So yeah, he's a cool dog. All right. See you guys. See you, Freedom Tribe. See you, Dante. And whoever else is out there. 13 of you guys. Thanks for smashing the likes. We'll see you guys next time.